Is our generation truly fragile? Are we, in essence, becoming too soft, too pampered? This question, often directed at Generation Z, those born from the late 1990s onwards, sparks sensitive debate. Are young adults struggling to mature, facing a crisis of psychological and personal weakness? This isn't just an observation, it's a critical inquiry into the very fabric of our contemporary experience. We've become accustomed to a certain level of comfort, a constant validation, and an instant gratification that past generations never knew. But what's the hidden cost of this seemingly idyllic existence? Is it inadvertently fostering a pervasive psychological fragility that leaves individuals ill-equipped to handle the inevitable hardships of life? We must examine this possibility not as a criticism, but as a challenge to understand and overcome. Symptoms of psychological fragility, exaggerated realities. A key indicator of this fragility is a phenomenon psychologists call pain catastrophizing. The exaggeration and magnification of normal pain or discomfort into catastrophic experiences. What were once considered natural human emotions or temporary struggles are now often elevated to the level of severe psychological disorders. Consider these common emotional states. Sadness becomes depression. Experiencing sadness for a few days or weeks after setback is a normal human response. Yet there's a growing tendency to immediately self-diagnose or seek a diagnosis of clinical depression, leading to medical interventions even when an individual might simply be navigating a natural period of grief or disappointment. The threshold for what's considered normal emotional fluctuation has drastically lowered. Worry becomes anxiety disorder. Feeling anxious about important events or uncertain outcomes is a natural part of life. However, for many, this normal anxiety escalates into a perceived anxiety disorder, prompting a search for quick fixes, often bypassing the natural process of coping and resolution. Individuals may experience genuine distress, but the magnifying lens of modern narratives often transforms everyday concerns into overwhelming conditions. Distraction becomes ADHD. In an increasingly stimulus-rich environment, natural levels of distraction are common. Yet a growing number of individuals perceive their struggle to focus on tasks as a sign of ADHD, seeking diagnoses and interventions for what might primarily be a lifestyle-induced attention deficit rather than a clinical condition. The relentless influx of dopamine from digital sources trains the brain for constant novelty, making sustained focus challenging. Beyond internal states, social interactions also reveal this fragility. Joking has, for many, been reclassified as bullying. The ability to differentiate between playful banter among friends, even if it touches on personal traits, and genuine malicious intent has eroded. What was once seen as a sign of camaraderie and deep trust, the ability to tease and be teased, is now often met with extreme sensitivity and labeled as aggressive behavior. This redefinition hinders the formation of resilient social bonds as individuals become hesitant to engage in candid, informal interactions, fearing misinterpretation or accusations of malice. The lines between playful mockery and genuine aggression have blurred, creating an environment where healthy social friction is avoided, leading to isolation and an inability to navigate real conflict. Furthermore, the perception of life's challenges has shifted dramatically. Normal rejections, such as a romantic proposal being declined or a job application being unsuccessful, are often experienced as deeply traumatic events, akin to severe betrayal or personal failure. There's an unspoken expectation that one should always be accepted, always succeed, and never face disappointment. This inflated expectation leaves individuals ill-equipped to handle the inevitable no's of life, causing disproportionate emotional distress and hindering their capacity for resilience. The belief that one must be accepted leads to profound shock and emotional suffering when rejection occurs, delaying maturity and fostering a victim mentality. To end, root causes of fragility. Unseen architects of weakness. This pervasive psychological fragility doesn't emerge in a vacuum. It's meticulously, albeit often unintentionally, constructed by several powerful forces shaping the modern individual. Over-Coddling and upbringing, the soft foundation. The natural desire of every parent is to shield their children from hardship and pain. This deeply ingrained protective instinct, while noble, can have unintended negative consequences when taken to extremes. Children raised in overly sanitized, bubble-wrapped environments, where every discomfort is immediately removed and every challenge is smoothed over, are deprived of crucial developmental experiences. Life in its essence is dualistic. Strength emerges from struggle, wisdom from mistakes, and resilience from adversity. If individuals are never exposed to minor failures, conflicts, or disappointments in controlled environments during their formative years, they lack the opportunity to develop coping mechanisms and problem-solving skills. When they eventually step into the real world, filled with its inevitable complexities, deceptions, and criticisms, they are psychologically unprepared. This excessive care, therefore, ironically produces individuals who are genuinely weak and fragile in the face of reality, unable to navigate the harsh realities of dishonesty, bullying, and injustice. The very effort to prevent suffering can inadvertently create a profound vulnerability. Unrealistic expectations, the illusion of perfection. Compounding the effects of over-coddling is the pervasive influence of unrealistically high expectations. This is largely fueled by modern media and societal narratives that often portray an idealized version of success in life, devoid of struggle or failure. Individuals are led to believe that every endeavor should be met with overwhelming support, instant success, and universal approval. When someone embarks on a new venture, like starting a creative project or a business, they anticipate only encouragement, applause, and viral success. The reality of initial struggles, criticism, or even outright failure is seen as a personal indictment rather than a normal part of the learning curve. This fosters a dependence on false encouragement. When individuals receive only praise, even for mediocre efforts, they are shielded from honest feedback necessary for growth. True support often involves constructive criticism, yet many are conditioned to perceive any critique as a personal attack or a lack of support. This leads to a profound fragility where individuals cannot tolerate genuine feedback, hindering their development. The belief that everyone should support me or I must not be criticized creates a brittle ego that shatters at the first sign of opposition, preventing the forging of resilient character. Media advertising. Influence, the manufactured reality. Perhaps the most insidious force shaping psychological fragility is the pervasive and often deceptive influence of media and advertising, particularly social media and the pharmaceutical industry, magnifying rare problems. Certain media agendas and commercial interests strategically focus on extremely rare or niche social and psychological issues, portraying them as widespread epidemics affecting a significant portion of the population. For instance, specific mental health conditions, while valid for those who genuinely suffer, might be presented with such intensity and frequency that they become normalized and even expected in populations where they are statistically very rare. This exaggerated portrayal can lead individuals to self-diagnose based on superficial symptoms, believing they suffer from severe disorders when they are merely experiencing normal human emotions or life stressors. The deliberate emotional impact of such narratives can induce genuine distress in previously healthy individuals. Pharmaceutical marketing. Pharmaceutical companies, through their awareness campaigns for mental disorders, sometimes inadvertently create the very conditions they aim to treat. By extensively advertising symptoms and promoting specific diagnostic labels, they plant ideas in the minds of the general public. Individuals lacking a deep understanding of psychology may then interpret normal fluctuations in mood or attention as signs of a serious illness, leading to the overprescription of medication for conditions that might be more effectively managed through lifestyle changes or natural coping mechanisms. This phenomenon highlights that psychological problems, being largely thought-based, unlike purely physical ailments, can be inadvertently manufactured or amplified through the power of suggestion and advertising. The digital disconnect. Our increasing immersion in the digital world further exacerbates fragility. Individuals become adept at online communication, where interactions are curated, filtered, and often lack the messy authenticity of real-world engagement. The street smarts and resilience forged through navigating face-to-face interactions, unexpected conflicts, and diverse personalities are diminished. Someone who can eloquently debate on Twitter may struggle to hold a simple conversation with a shopkeeper. This digital cocoon deprives individuals of the essential forging experiences that build character, adaptability, and true social competence. Real-world exposure to diverse personalities, the honest, the liar, the cheater, the manipulator is crucial for developing discernment and resilience. Without these lived experiences, individuals remain naive and vulnerable, easily fooled or overwhelmed by real-life complexities. These underlying causes create a generational vulnerability, where individuals, despite their potential, lack the fundamental psychological resilience needed to thrive in an unfiltered, often challenging world. Recognizing these roots is the first step towards building a genuine, unbreakable inner strength. The path to resilience, a blueprint for unbreakable character. To counter the pervasive influence of psychological fragility, a deliberate and comprehensive approach is required. This isn't about blaming individuals, but empowering them with the tools to forge an unbreakable character. The solution lies in a return to fundamental principles, emphasizing real-world engagement, responsible information consumption, and relentless self-mastery. 1. Realign your information sources. The reality filter. The first and most critical step is to drastically reduce and reevaluate the consumption of digital media, especially social media and sensationalized news. While digital platforms are an inescapable part of modern life, their influence must be actively managed. Mindful consumption. Treat social media like a powerful tool, not a default state. Engage with it consciously for specific purposes, connection, learning, specific entertainment, rather than as a passive time sink, curated feeds. Ruthlessly filter social media feeds. Unfollow accounts that promote unrealistic lifestyles, foster comparison, or consistently generate anxiety and negative emotions. Instead, seek out and follow accounts that inspire, educate, and offer genuine value. Verify information. Develop a critical mindset. Do not take information, especially about complex psychological or societal issues, at face value from short clips or unverified sources. Always seek information from credible, specialized experts, academic texts, and diverse perspectives. Engage in cross-referencing and logical reasoning to form informed conclusions. Remember, individuals are filters, not sponges. Prioritize deep learning. Shift from rapid, superficial consumption, short videos, quick headlines, to deeper, more concentrated learning. Engage with books, long-form articles, and comprehensive documentaries. These sources offer nuance, context, and a more robust understanding of complex topics, countering the oversimplified narratives prevalent online. By actively controlling one's informational diet, individuals reclaim their mental space from manufactured anxieties and distorted realities, fostering a more grounded and resilient perception of the world. 2. Embrace real-world exposure, the crucible of experience. The digital realm, while convenient, deprives individuals of the essential forging experiences of real-world interaction. To build true resilience, one must consciously seek out and immerse oneself in real-life situations that expose one to diverse people, challenges, and unpredictable outcomes. Seek practical work experience. Even if unemployed or highly educated, consider taking up temporary or part-time work in service industries. For example, restaurants, cafes, retail. These environments are crucibles for developing practical skills, handling diverse personalities, managing conflict, and dealing with unexpected situations. This isn't about career advancement. It's about character development and building essential life competencies. Engage in community activities, volunteer, join local clubs, or participate in group activities that bring individuals into contact with people from different backgrounds and perspectives. This fosters genuine social intelligence and exposes one to the nuances of human interaction beyond curated online personas. Travel and exploration. Whenever possible, travel to new places, especially those that push one slightly out of their comfort zone. Navigating unfamiliar cultures, languages, and situations builds adaptability, problem-solving skills, and self-reliance. Confront challenges. Directly, when problems arise in relationships, family, friends, romantic, work, or personal life, resist the urge to escape or avoid. Instead, face them head-on. Engage in difficult conversations, seek solutions, and learn from mistakes. This direct engagement, though uncomfortable, is where true strength is forged. Remember, life does not spare anyone from hardship. Those who are prepared endure. By deliberately exposing oneself to the rich, messy, and unpredictable tapestry of real life, individuals build invaluable resilience, social intelligence, and a deep, authentic understanding of human nature that no screen can ever provide. This is where character is truly sculpted. 3. Embrace responsibility, maturity, the pillars of strength. Maturity is not merely an age, it's a commitment to bear the burdens of responsibility for oneself and one's life. This involves a profound shift from a victim mentality to a proactive stance of self-reliance. Own your problems. When faced with psychological or life challenges, resist the immediate urge to seek external blame or quick fixes. Recognize that while external factors contribute, the ultimate responsibility for finding solutions and building resilience lies within. This is not about shaming, but empowering oneself. Face, don't escape. When confronted with emotional pain, bullying, sadness, or fear, resist the urge to escape through distractions, unhealthy coping mechanisms, or rash decisions. For example, quitting a job, ending a relationship. Instead, face these emotions and situations directly. Accept their presence, understand their message, and actively work through them. True strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to endure and grow through it. Define your boundaries. Maturity involves understanding where one's responsibility ends and where others begins. While being empathetic, avoid taking on the emotional burdens of others unnecessarily. Focus energy on what is controllable. The concept that adolescence has extended to the mid-20s, perhaps due to prolonged coddling, highlights a societal trend away from early responsibility. True maturity involves embracing life's difficulties as opportunities for growth, understanding that the most profound strength comes from overcoming personal struggles, not avoiding them. 4. Implement the magic recipe for well-being, the foundational habits. Beyond mindset shifts and external exposure, building psychological resilience requires a strong biological foundation. The interconnectedness of mind and body is undeniable. This magic recipe involves mastering 4 fundamental daily habits. Optimize sleep. This is paramount. Consistent schedule. Maintain a fixed bedtime and wake-up time every day, including weekends and holidays. Consistency regulates the circadian rhythm, profoundly impacting mood, energy, and cognitive function. Quality sleep. Prioritize deep, uninterrupted sleep. Ensure the sleep environment is dark. Avoid screens, blue light after sunset, cool, quiet, and comfortable. Address factors like caffeine intake, especially in the afternoon/evening, and screen time before bed, as these disrupt sleep quality. Aim for 7-9 hours of deep sleep. Nutrient-rich. Diet. Food is fuel for the brain and body. Prioritize whole foods. Focus on unprocessed foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and abundant fiber from fruits and vegetables. Avoid processed sugars. Unhealthy fats. These can cause energy crashes, mood swings, and inflammation that negatively impact mental well-being. Understand the profound link between gut health and brain health. Consistent physical activity. Movement is a potent antidote to psychological fragility. Daily activity. Engage in strong physical activity for at least 1-2 hours every day. This could be gym workouts, running, swimming, or any intense physical pursuit. Stress relief. Endorphins. Physical activity is a natural stress reliever, boosting mood through the release of endorphins and improving cognitive function. It also builds physical resilience, which correlates with mental toughness. Reduce dopamine distraction. Sources. In an age of constant digital stimulation, brains are wired for quick dopamine hits, making sustained focus and contentment challenging. Limit social media. Consciously reduce time spent on platforms that provide continuous, shallow rewards, likes, notifications, short videos. Minimize screen time. Reduce excessive consumption of games, movies, and other digital entertainment that overstimulate the reward system. Create focus zones. designate periods or environments free from digital distractions to train the brain for deeper concentration and sustained effort. This holistic approach to well-being provides the biological bedrock upon which mental resilience and a strong character can be built. It's about optimizing one's internal hardware to support the psychological software. Conclusion: the path forward. One has explored the subtle yet profound nature of psychological fragility in our generation, its roots in modern upbringing and media, and its tangible impact on lives. Crucially, a blueprint for cultivating genuine resilience has now been provided. The stories of historical figures enduring immense suffering to forge unwavering character, or simple personal struggles, illuminate a timeless truth. Strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to grow through it. The path to an unbreakable character isn't paved with ease, but with conscious effort, real-world engagement, and disciplined self-mastery. This journey demands a shift from passive consumption to active participation in one's own growth. It means daring to step out of the digital comfort zone, to face reality head-on, to embrace responsibility, and to consistently nurture physical and mental well-being. As David Goggins famously said, "It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak." This isn't a judgment, but an opportunity. In a world where fragility is increasingly common, those who choose resilience, those who deliberately forge their character, will stand out as truly exceptional. The power to transform oneself, to build an unbreakable mind and a robust spirit, lies within one's grasp. It begins with the decision to take action today. The journey to an unyielding inner strength starts now.